been a few months. I said last time that I would be producing videos weekly, and I have a lot of stuff to share with you, and then life hit. So I'm going to play a bit of catch up today, and I'm going to take you with me on a day of my life, on one of the hottest days in the UK summer. Am I going to regret this? Possibly slightly, but we'll be fine. Hi, my name's Charlotte, and welcome to my art studio. So one of the first things that some of you might recognise is my studio's had a bit of a change around. So this unit actually used to be where that picture frame is. My desk has moved along, but the big table where I do all my painting has stayed in exactly the same place. And I just found this has given me more space, more floor space, and usable floor space. I used to be cramped in a corner when I paint, and now I have loads of room behind me. My materials are still within reach, and I've reorganised these units. So next to my desk is my drawing materials, it's my canvases, etc. So it's working well. It's been about a week, and it's meant that I have actually cleared through some items as well. So I'm getting rid of a lot of the frames that I used to use, as these used to be very much, well, I've got one here actually right next to me. They are all perspex, so it just didn't feel professional to have my paintings and my drawings framed in perspex. So I've gone down the pure glass route now, and I've updated all of my items that are on display elsewhere. However, I hinted that life kind of happened. So unfortunately, between February and now, we've had a couple of family deaths. We've had quite some significant health scares, and our business has changed direction slightly. So this has meant that I have technically lost my role in Little Loaf Games, as my partner has now found other work, but we are still going to use that as a passion project, because we are so determined to get our next game out and get the full game out. We're like this close to getting the first level out as like a little sneak peek, hopefully by the end of the month, and then we'll get the rest of the game out hopefully before the end of the year. As I say, passion project. It does mean as well that my role at the studio has changed slightly. So I have, let's put it this way, I've gone more into the teaching. I do a lot of the background work still, but my main focus is now the teaching, and then supporting my husband to be able to run the rest of the business in the background. And there is a hell of a lot of work, let me tell you that. If you think, yeah, I'm going to start my own business, this is going to be easy. Oh, no, 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 no. Do your research, please. I was like, we can do this. We'll be fine. Nah. You've got to think of bringing in customers, how you're going to entice them in, any sort of deals that you're going to do, especially for new customers. That's just a few things. On top of that, you've got making sure your instructor's okay, cover, events, etc. There's so much. My brain is honestly full all the time, and I've got a big list. If I come over here, like this is my list at the moment just for pole. My art list, something similar. And that's how I keep track, because otherwise my brain goes on one. So it does mean that I am relying a little bit more on my artwork, and that's where I'm going to take you today. So I've done my usual morning routine, I've gone about and I've done my thing, and I'm planning now on packing for the rest of my day, as well as maybe getting a couple of courses completed, as I am training to be a children's instructor as part of my pole and aerial work, which is very exciting. It means I can offer more classes to the studio, and the studio can therefore offer more classes. So it's a bit of a win-win in that one. And then I will be off to Potterne in Devizes, which is where I am situated for Marlborough Open Studios. And I'll let you know a little bit more about that later while I'm there. And then last but not least, I am headed off to the studio itself. I'll show you around a bit because we are going to be doing a couple of classes this evening, a couple of content creation classes. So I might not necessarily capture anything on here. However, I will be capturing loads and loads and loads of things for our social media. If I remember, I will stick the links below. It's always one of those things, you plan something out and then you go through and you're like, oh, I forgot to do that. It happens more often than most, hence my giant lists. So I'm gonna get on with my day now. I'm gonna be quiet, do some proper stuff. In the meantime, we went fancy. We've got a couple of mics, so I am testing them out today using I think the DJI Mic 2. This is not a promo or anything. This is to see if it actually works and to see how I can use it in the future. I've got some ideas for poll. I've got some ideas for the businesses that we run, as well as for YouTube. So hopefully it will boost those, that quality that I am able to provide for you. So as I say, I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna take you with me and pack my bags, see if I've got everything, and hopefully do some courses along the way before I have to leave. So I will see you soon. So here I am at venue 18 of Marlborough Open Studios. I have a huge fan on. It is so warm up here. So today, Friday, we are open from 1 till 4. It's currently just gone 12:30. So I thought I'd set up, give you a little tour while I'm just trying to cool down a little bit. So I'm going to pop you back over here. I'll tell you a little bit more about Marlborough Open Studios itself and what I am displaying this year. So for those of you who have followed me a little while know that I've been part of Swindon Open Studios the past couple of years. That has been a fantastic experience. And this year I wanted to broaden my horizons. So there were some circumstances meant that I couldn't book on to Swindon Open Studios. So this year I decided to apply for the bursary for Marlborough Open Studios. Now, unfortunately, I didn't win the bursary. However, they did invite me in to apply for a space, of which got accepted. And so I kind of did nothing. It was a little bit of a like, okay, cool, great. I did nothing. It was really bad of me. So it was actually Roy of Metalikart who came forth to me and said, would you like to use the space that we have? So I'm at the end of their garden. They have currently works on display of Roy's in the garden, and I am in there, I would say little like she shed, some people might call it, but it's not so little. This wall behind me, there are works further this way, but it's about 7 meters long hanging space, and there's a bit of each end. So there is a lot of space in here. So Marlborough Open Studios is a lot like Swindon Open Studios. It's where artists open their doors to the public, other artists, etc., and invite them to come in, see how they work, what they do, some new works, some old works, etc. So this year with me, I'll take you on a little tour just over here. I have my full framed collection of anatomical works. So we've got the 3 organs as well as the 3 muscular drawings, and these are all prints. So unfortunately I don't sell the originals of these ones because they sit very closely to my heart, pun intended. It made me laugh, okay. So I do sell prints of these, and you can get them framed or unframed. I always like to give that option because some people prefer frames that they have, and then some people prefer the fact that they don't have to think about that. So they are limited edition of 25, as are all my prints. Next up is this piece. This is a new piece with me this year, and this piece is actually called Emptiness, and it's to do with the family deaths that we've experienced, as I mentioned earlier, and it just really holds that significance of that empty space you can see up here, despite the reflection. I think that's the only downside in here. It's beautiful, there's a lot of reflections. I'll bring you along with me. I've got my print rack here, and then I will pop you here. So we've got a couple of things going on. I've got Zoe and Emma in the background. If you haven't met the painting Zoe and Emma, welcome to the sassy teenage years, I like to call it. It does remind me of my nieces, who this painting is named after, and it really showcases that kind of look across the room of really, like really. So that piece is still available, and it is my pride and joy here today. Well, they all are. It's the biggest piece, it's the showcase piece here today with me over the full Marlborough Open Studios. Now there's some sculptures coming along here. I share this space with a gentleman called Nathan Hamblin. Nathan is the bursary winner this year and does all laser engraving, laser etching pieces. So we work together working on a piece similar to Emptiness there to create a 3D kind of model of this work. So if I get this in the right light, there you go. You can see all on these different layers, there's different layers of the drawing, different parts, and you can see something slightly different here as I turn it to the back. So this is one of the miniature scale ones. This is probably my favourite. I really like the glass effect. I didn't think I would, considering the photos from it. And then we have the larger piece here. I'm not going to pick it up because it's where it is now. Nathan put it in place and I don't trust myself. But this was the first prototype, so it was nuts and bolts. And we just didn't quite like, so you can see here, we didn't just quite like the industrial kind of feel to this. So Nathan tried the glass look of the perspex, and then we ended up with the black wood and perspex here instead. So heading along, some of you might have seen on my Instagram, the newest of my collection. I'll pop you here. Sorry, I'm literally just picking up the stand and moving it with me. So the newest collection I have with me is my dinosaur collection here. So the dinosaur collection was a collection that I've wanted to do for a little while, and I apologise, the floor is wonky, so we look wonky. Please forgive me. So I've done a Triceratops, Diplodocus, Stegosaurus, and Pteranodon. I want to say that's the way you say that, but I can't guarantee. Sorry. I love painting these, they're so bright, so bold. The pink one here has unfortunately sold. However, if I show you up close, you can really see just how bright and bold these are. They are definitely some of my favourites that I've painted recently. And if I show you another, you'll be able to see like the really dark shapes in this once I hook it back on. There you go. So if I grab the green Diplodocus here, you'll be able to see, there you go, so that really nice strong background. And then I go into the greys, but then you've got the dark patches right in there, along with some lighter patches. And they're just so cute and fun to create. So the hanging system we have here is lines and hooks, and it works super, super well once you've got it all set up. Setup was a bit of a pain. I'll probably try and record a little bit of takedown so you can see it. But takedown is always so much faster. So next along the line, so going all the way over, we have my almost botanical collection. I really want to do more of these because there's so many botanicals that I love. I am a plant person. I wouldn't say that I can name you loads and loads of plants, but I definitely love my plants. And I love taking care of them, watching them grow and watching them bloom, ultimately, much like Bloom. So the one that you possibly haven't seen on my socials is the newest one of Leaves, and I finished that within the week before Marlborough Open Studios started. But it's fine, we got it done. That's what counts, much like the dinosaur series. Reach is an old favourite. Sorry, there's a bug here. There you go. Reach is an old favourite. I did repaint the background on that one because last time it was on display, sticky child chocolate fingers managed to reach onto the painting and yes, ruin the background a little bit, but we're here. It's safe, it's fine. Painting is now completed once again. And I brought along with me a current commission that I have. So this is actually one that a family member commissioned me, and it's actually myself and my husband, our hands, along with our wedding rings, and it's going to be in our wedding colours. So that one is in progress for people to be a little bit nosy at. I hope you're familiar with these. I had these at Swindon Open Studios last year. I think I did a post, maybe a video. It was a long time ago, let's put it that way. So these are some of my older works, my older paintings with me. And then same with these two prints down here. So this is Chloe. Chloe has now sold. She is just waiting on delivery. And then together of Swindon Paint Fest. The original is still available, but a lot of people prefer the print considering the original is 2.3 meters by 2.3 meters. If anyone does want her, she's still there. We, last but not least, have my final print with me today. It's brand new. It is of 50 Shades of Blue, and it's the original face that I painted that kind of kick-started this style while I was in college. It was then when I went to uni that it kind of split apart a little bit, and I didn't do much painting or drawing, and now that I've come back to it, I've come straight back to this style. I really enjoy the palettes. I really enjoy how bright and cheerful it can be. And I have a wasp? Honeybee, maybe? It's gone out the door. It's fine. So I do have another area. If I pop you over here, I'm literally just, as I say, picking up my stand, and I'll even lower you. There we go. So over here, I have a little bit of an interactive area. So I do have Elsa with me again, saying hello in the mirror. That's horrible. I do have my camera equipment, so I'm going to take some photos and a little bit of a video as I am doing here for YouTube. But then also I have some originals in frames, smaller and not as much as my prominent work, as well as my sketchbooks that you can browse through, and some of my cards that I am selling, because I'm trying to get those out the door. So they are on for cheap. Last but not least, I thought I'd bring with me this painting. I will bring it off of the easel so you can see it better without this fan. How do I get it off? There we go. So this painting has been in progress for maybe a year, and it is to do with Swindon Paint Fest last year. So just behind me you can see Swindon Paint Fest 2 years ago, and this one I've started. I feel like you're not getting the reds. Let me turn you. I've never done like an on thing shoot. There we go. There we go. That's much better. I didn't want you to miss out. So last weekend I was working on the reds of the petals, as I wasn't happy with them as I finished Swindon Paint Fest. And then over this weekend I'll be working on the oranges, and then coming down into this area, which is a kind of dark skin peachy toned kind of thing. It'll make more sense if you know your Lego kits. So this is actually the Lego dried centerpiece. There you go, got it right. So this one is a little bit of a work in progress. And if I come closer to you, you'll be able to see what I mean. So we've got the grid that I work from, and then I've already drawn out the petals here. If I go along, you can kind of see that Lego look within it. So my aim over Open Studios is to get this completed, because why not? It'll be also really interesting to see who comes back and views it between the first weekend and the final weekend, and I'll be sure to take some photos to be able to show off. Last but not least, while I'm here in the corner, I have also got my hands paintings and my smaller framed prints, as well as a couple of eye originals. So now I've taken you through, I will give you a little quick tour of what Nathan and Roy have also got on display. So as I mentioned previously, Nathan does laser engraving and cutting work. So he has for sale some of his 3D work alongside these amazing lampshades. And they can be custom made and custom formed. So like if you enjoy the style but you want a slightly different curvature, you can do that, which I think is so clever. And then he's got some really bright and really interesting works. So the square ones are all maps, and then the neon ones are different layers, neon shapes. I believe one like this has about 16 layers in, which is absolutely crazy. Like, look at this. You can move through and see all the layers. Apologies about my shadow. So this is this whole space that Nathan and I have over these weekends. And we are at the top of a wonderful garden. Like, look at this. You can see some of Roy's sculptures here, including bright and colourful balls. And these are all suitable to live outside. If I walk over here, look at this giant bumblebee. Look at him. So cute. Probably one of my favourite pieces is this thistle. Look how cool that is. So again, I will try and remember to tag Roy or add his information to this video. But we are up here, so you can see the artwork, looking gorgeous. But I'd probably better do my thing and set up the rest of my objects for today and take some photos. You have to press the red button.
Okay.
Start recording.
Well, this is pretty fun. I'd like to start this by saying, hello, YouTube. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I believe in Charlotte, and I think her artwork is amazing. So please enjoy this wonderful episode from Charlotte Abraham Arts. I love you, sweetie.
That is so going in the bloopers. Thank you, darling.
Love you.